Hello and welcome to the Fans Boxing Podcast, the podcast that asks the questions you want to hear. Hello, I'd like to welcome on the show this week, Leicester's Unbeaten, the heavy hitting, the king, Lyon Woodstock Jr. How are you today, Leon?
I'm good. I just want to say thank you for having me on your podcast show. It's nice to be invited to these things. I enjoy doing them.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, mate. We appreciate your time and love talking to all kind of boxers, mate. It's brilliant.
Wicked. Thank you, man. Thank you.
And as you know, people come on this show for the first time, you'd like to find out what was the motivation for getting through them gym doors, mate?
Well, I always wanted to box because my granddad was a boxer, so I was always going around, Mama, I want to fight, I want to box, and I was getting into a bit of trouble in that and getting into scraps and doing things really shouldn't be doing, but I always wanted to fight, do you know what I mean? Like, properly, get some gloves on, get in the ring and move around. Like, I've just always been fascinated with fighting. So, I was training at a youth club. It was nothing serious, nothing like you could take serious. There weren't really a ring there. It was just like to keep fit sort of thing.
Yeah.
Guy off the estate, he would like coach the sessions, and because I think he did like a bit of boxing before, he was quite decent. I don't know if he went pro or anything, but yeah, he did a bit, and he'd show us some stuff. But anyway, I remember a bald bearded man walking in one time, which turns out to be my coach in the end. But yeah, I remember him coming in and saying that he's setting up a gym on the estate and that he's going to do this, that and the other. And I went up to him, spoke to him, had a long conversation with him saying that, like, obviously I want to fight, this, that and the other. And then I didn't see him again for like a while, and I completely forgot about a gym that was going to be put on the estate. I forgot about it. And then I think I seen some leaflets or something, and my mum was like, I'm going to take you down there. They literally, like, I'm not exaggerating, it's 2 minutes from my house. And like, I was first person through the doors there. He's still got the list to this day, very top of the list. First person to train, it says Lyon Woodstock at the very top. And it just went from there, really.
So that's a little bit of history, obviously being the first person in that gym as well.
Yeah. I always seen Hudge about though, like, but I didn't really know who he was or what he was about. But yeah, just went there and started. It was great, man. It was a great experience. I remember the first few sessions, to be honest, like it was yesterday. Seriously, the weird feeling for the feeling to carry on through like all those years, because I've been with him for 6 years now. So to still get that same feeling that I did when I first walked through them doors is strange.
Yeah, that's great to hear, mate. Did it come naturally to you, the boxing?
Could have rephrased that question. The fighting did. I've always been a fighting person. Like, I don't know if you watched my last fight. A lot of people after were saying, "Oh, you should box a lot more." But I just got a natural instinct inside me to want to fight. I love fighting. I love getting in there and like hearing their breathing and feeling their power against mine and pushing myself to the absolute limit. And I feel like when I'm boxing and moving around and being a bit like flash, if you like, I don't really feel like I'm pushing myself to the limit, to my limits, like against their physicalities. I guess it's more of a thinking game when I start boxing, but I just love fighting. Fighting's always came natural. Like, I've always been able to hit pretty hard. Like, the boxing's obviously sharpened that and honed my skills, but like, I've always been able to hit hard, like ever since I could remember. So, but the fighting came natural. Now the boxing, that was a whole new thing. That was hard. I didn't like the idea of having to step off of someone and like, but obviously you've got to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously through the years learning with Hudge, I've picked up the skill and I'm quite a nice boxer, if I do say so myself.
Of course, mate. I say, what is Hodge like as a trainer?
Oh, he's like my dad. Honestly, he is. Like, my dad went around when I was younger, and like, he's definitely filled that void 100%. Like, if I look up to anyone, it's definitely him. I've always said, if I ever become half the man that Hudge is, then I'd be a happy guy. Because he's a good person. Besides being a coach, he's just a very good man, and he's a great role model, I think, personally.
Yeah, how long were you like training before your like amateur debut?
Well, I started when I was 16, a young 16 as well, mentally and physically, and just a young 16-year-old boy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
get those quite filled out, like quite mature 16-year-olds. I weren't like that. I was quite an immature little guy. I still am now, to be fair. I'm a bit of a clown, but I like being like that. I like being like that. I don't think it's good to be serious all the time. It's nice to have a laugh and a giggle sometimes. But yeah, 2 years, I think it was. My first amateur fight was when I was 18, so I was training solid for 2 years, and he put me through various different training things. Like, before I stepped in that ring, off the books, off the record, not proper fights, but I had like 20, 30 bouts, going around to different gyms, sparring the best lads, like when I was very, very raw, and I was still holding my own, even stopping some of them, knocking some of them out. And like, this is just sparring, and they've had like 20 odd fights, and I'm just there, not even had a bout in my life. So before I stepped in the ring, it's like I already had 20, 30 fights just in other people's back gardens. Not literally their garden, but yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. Yeah.
Home gyms.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. He put it through. He put me through the mill for real. I think in his mind, what he wanted to do was give me any reason to not box. He wanted to make me say, you know what, I don't want to do this. It's too hard. Because he was putting me. Honestly, I was a light 8-something stone guy, and I'm not exaggerating. I cannot make this up. Honestly, you can go and ask the people that was at the gym at that time. You can ask him. He was putting me in with light heavyweights and heavyweights, and I'm not lying.
Jesus.
And I was stopping them. I was dropping them and putting them down. So like, I think from then, him seeing me, that I could dig deep, like, and they was hitting me as well. Don't get it wrong. I weren't just banging them going over. They was hitting me, and like, I was holding my own. And then as soon as I landed the shot, bang, they would just cripple over. Obviously, their boxing ability weren't going to be like amazing, but they're big guys still. And to be able to generate that much power when I was only like 8 stone something, and to put them over was weird. But I thought it was normal at the time, because I'm just a guy from the streets. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you get in a fight, you hit them, they go over, that's it. Like, I thought that was normal. But then when I started boxing amateur and I started putting people away, and then I started seeing people's eyebrows raising, judges thinking, who's this random crazy guy? Like, I was just like, oh, so is this not normal then, to knock people out? And then obviously, because of the head guard and the padded gloves and that, I was like, oh, okay, then I understand, like, this ain't normal. So then that's when people started to notice I was a big puncher, and I ain't here to mess around.
Yeah, I think you had like 24 amateur fights, wasn't it, and 17 knockouts in that.
17 of them, yeah, KO'd 17 of them.
That's a high ratio, that, isn't it?
I ended 4 of their careers as well.
Really? Jesus.
After fighting me, they never fought again in the amateurs. And these are people that have been boxing since they was like really 9 years old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because recently on Facebook I saw someone post a photograph on your wall, and that was you were fighting a 30-year-old man, wasn't it? And you were really...
Yeah, that was back in the day. I was 18. I remember that. We went down to, I think it was the Campo gym or something like that. He was a Cambridge guy. He was a police officer.
Oh.
I knocked him out in the 3rd round.
But you got some credit off your mate for that then.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent.
So, can you recap like any success over the amateur career, mate?
What, my favourite part, or just my successes?
Successes, really, mate.
All right. I'd say one of my favourite things from the amateurs. I was in the championships, and I had to fight twice in one night, and with like an hour in between, because I'd drawn the short straw. As all, I knew I'm that kind of person. So I was like, I knew I was gonna get it before. Anyways, pulled the straw, got the short straw. I was like, all right, cool. I've got to fight twice. So the first guy, he was bearing in mind these guys have only lost twice between them. So. And I think that was my 10th or 11th fight or something. It was in the novice championship, so you had to be under 10 bouts to go in. But obviously, going through the tournament, because I had to fight like 8 people on the way to the finals, which is crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I knocked everyone out in that championship. So anyway, you guys, the first one, he was I think he was a traveller boy, and he only lost once. I think his record was 9 fights, 1 loss. And he was top to be like a good kid, like for the future, someone to look out for. And Nudge said to me, "You've got another fight after this, like within an hour. You got to knock this guy out." Never felt so pumped to knock someone out in my life. He's like, "You have to KO him in the 1st round." And I was like, "In the 1st round?" He was like, "Yeah, the 1st round."
Putting the pressure on.
Trust me, he had both of his hands on my face and he was looking me dead in the eye. He was like, "You have to KO this kid in the first round." I was like, "Okay." So the bell went, I've came out and I've just gone at him like a madman. Like, I don't know if you've seen Hagler versus Hearns.
Yeah, of course.
Literally that.
You enacted that, did you?
And I was just like throwing every shot in the book. I'm sure I made a few shots up on the way as well. Threw everything at him, like overwhelmed him with just sheer aggression and power, and hit him. He's gone down, but like he was like staying down way too long, and the ref just waved his hands off because it was quite a heavy knockdown. He was like, "No, no more." And I just looked over to Hodge like, "I did it." Like, can't celebrate yet. You got to fight again. So went back to the changing rooms, stayed warm, was getting ready, and he was like, and then the guy came in like, "You're on in blah 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 minutes." I was like, "Cool." So we got ready on the pads, and he was like, "All right, you don't have to knock this one out in the first round. You just start wanting to control the first round. Make sure you like let him know who you are. You ain't here to mess around. You're a power punch. He would have watched your first fight, so he knows that you're not here to play. That you're going to be there to finish him. So you're going to have to be a bit more smart for this one." He says that you won't knock this one out in the first round. He says you'll be able to take him out in the last. So and anything Hodge says, I always firmly follow it and believe it. I have 100% faith in him. I trust my life with him more than I trust it with myself. Like he's everything to me. So I was just like, wicked, gonna do exactly what you say. Gone out there and I dropped him once in the first round, twice in the second round, and I dropped him 3 times in the last round, and that was it. Because in the amateurs, 3 times you're down, you're out.
Yeah.
And that I ended his career as well. I think he passed out on the way home in his car, bless him, and he got to get rushed to hospital. But I messaged him after, made sure he was all right. He was cool, but he never boxed again. I think he was an Asian lad. I can't remember his name though. But yeah, that's one of my highlights in the amateurs. Another one is when I fought Ryan Fillingham. I went into the elite championships. I don't know if you know about the elite championships, but everyone in there has had like 60 to 70 bouts.
Yeah, of course.
They're all, like top of their game. I went in there with 19 fights, knocked everyone out, and got to the semi-finals. Fought Ryan Fillingham in the quarters. And I'm sure he was on like 70 some fights at that stage, and everyone was just laughing at me. He just did the same thing, looked at me, told me, have faith. And I was like, cool. Went in there, dropped Ryan Fillingham in the first round and beat him on a split decision. I was more than happy.
That's great.
But that's still to this day one of the hardest fights I've ever had. Even though I've had these pro fights, that's still one of the hardest fights I've ever had to date.
So what happened in that semi-finals there in the league?
Boxed Jack Daniels and I lost on a split decision, but it's one of those, depends how the judges feel on that day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Depending on the one on that day, did they want to have the outside boxer or the come forward aggressive boxer? Do you know what I mean? So it was up to them on that day. So and because it was a split, obviously there was judges there that thought I won. I thought I nicked it, but obviously they thought he won. So I was just like, cool, wicked, a great experience. I shouldn't even be here mixing hands with these people. Do you know what I'm saying? I've only had, at the time, what did I finish on? I think I finished on 21 or 22 fights when I fought Jack Daniels. So I shouldn't even be in the ring with them. But it goes, like, it speaks for itself that I am. Do you know what I mean? I was in there and I did what I did.
Yeah, that's brilliant to hear. It must have been a massive confidence booster.
Yeah, it was. But Hudge and Unity have always ran like that. Like, we ain't never really looked too far into things, do you know what I mean? Like, we had one guy, Brian Madawani, he was meant to turn pro at the same time as me, but he had family issues and he weren't able to turn over. He was a light heavyweight, absolutely tall, he was great. And I think on his 8th, he had 8 fights, and then for his 9th fight, he fought a guy that had 30 fights, and he had a winning record. Like, I think he only lost about 6 or 7 fights, and Brian absolutely smashed him to bits. Like, so we've never really looked into records. That all we look at is fighters. We're in here to build records or build anything. We build fighters. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's great to hear, and it's great to hear you've got a lot of faith in your coach as well.
100%. He always says, like, weight, amount of fight, skill, it don't come into it. If he was on the streets and this guy slapped your mum, you're not going to ask him how many fights you had. You're not going to do that, are you? You're just going to plow him through, leave him there, and then go about your business. You're not going to ask them all that. Do you know what I mean? So that's the mentality I take into the ring. I don't care what they've done or what their name is or what belt they've got or what team they've got or what people they've got behind them. All I know is that my name's not on your record, and when you get in the ring with me, you're going to definitely remember my name whether you win or lose. Do you know what I'm saying? You're going to remember who I am.
Yeah, of course, mate. What made you turn over so young though to the pro ranks?
Do you think I turned over? I think I left it a little bit late, to be fair. Like, considering when I started, I think like it was a good time. But normally you got people turning over when they're like 18 years of age. You know what I mean? I turned
Yeah.
over 21. And I thought that was a ripe age to turn over, but considering for my amateur career, I only had 24 fights. Yeah, that's quite young in the talk of boxing. That's quite fresh.
Yeah.
But
Didn't you want to chase like the Olympic dream or anything like that?
I had thoughts of it. I had thoughts of it, but like I don't know. I just don't like the idea and of fighting without my coach in my corner. I couldn't do it. Like I went to the GB trials. I did that. Like I did what I was meant to do. I sparred everyone. I did well. The people was liking me down there. But like I just constantly had in my head, I'm gonna have to fight without my coach in my corner. Like that's my coach. Like he's the only person that is like can get through to me and tell like I'll abide what he says. You know what I mean? I'll listen to him because like everyone else tries and tells me, I'm just like, who are you talking to? Don't tell me what to do. Do you know what I mean? When
Yeah.
it comes to him, I'll listen to everything he says because he comes from the same world that I come from. Do you know what I'm saying? We come from the same path, if you like. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of what happens or what era it was, we've pretty much done the same sort of route. Apart from his past goes a lot deeper and darker than mine, but it's the same sort of story. Do you know what I mean? The same sort of strip line. So I think I can relate to him a lot more, and I don't want to be in the corner with some random guy called Todd telling me now get out there and stick your jab out. I'm just like, you get out there and stick your jab out. Don't tell me what. I'm the fighter. I'll fight him how I want to fight him. So I just couldn't see myself doing that, and I was just like, I just want to be with Hudge. I don't care about no one else. I just want to fight for Hudge with Hudge, and that's it. So I never really thought about like going down that route. Like it entered my mind, but I never nothing serious. It never entered my mind seriously. And I always thought I had a more of a professional style anyway. I always like when I thought about the pros, I'd get that weird tingly feeling like, yo, that's where I want to be. That's where I'm meant to be. It just felt right. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, mate. And moving on to your pro debut, was at the famous York Hall. I love the arena. How does it feel to walk out there for your debut?
Oh, it felt great because all I was thinking is that Nigel Benn's done this exact same walk, and he's like my British boxing hero. So,
Yeah.
like, Ben did this like, in this same arena, and now I'm doing it. So it was quite great. The atmosphere was mad, even though it only lasted like 28 seconds. It was great. You know, the walkout, the entrance, and having everyone like cheering for me. Because through the amateurs, I never really had people coming to watch me. Like, I think it was mainly because of my own fault. I told my mum and that, like, I don't want you to come. Not yet, like save your money, blah blah blah. We come when I've turned pro, that's when I'm gonna want you there. And she hasn't missed a fight yet, so do you know what I mean? That's what I think. That's when everyone started coming through. But in the amateurs, it was just me and Hudge, always just me and Hudge. Go here, destroy them, come back. Me and Hudge, go here, do this. Always, that's what it was. It was just me and Hudge on the road, beating people up. So like, that's all it ever was. So to have that massive following, I brought like over 100 people on my first professional fight. Was insane.
That's good
like,
numbers, that, isn't it?
yeah, for a debut, I think that's like pretty decent, to be fair. Like to bring over 100 people, especially when you're coming way out of city. Like I think it was like a 2.5 hour drive, and they was on the coach as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So for them to come all the way out there, come and watch me just for those 28 seconds, like enough respect for that, man.
Yeah, obviously you went in with Reece Smith. He was 3-1 at the time, and that was a nasty right hook to the body, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It reminded me of if you seen Roy Jones stop that guy, I can't remember his name. He just faint jabs up and then right hook straight.
Yeah, I've seen that in a while. Yeah.
Exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah, because obviously after that you moved on to you fought a foreign guy, didn't you? Experienced journeyman up in Chester, was it?
Yeah. I can't remember his name. Elmir Raphael.
Raphael, yeah.
Yeah, he was a southpaw, but honestly, I could have knocked him out in the first round, but I told everyone because people weren't moaning. They were just like, you know, when you joke around, like, oh, you could have made it last a bit longer.
Yeah.
Like my next one, I promise all of you, I'll end him in round 2. I'll give you 1 round, and then I'll end him in round 2. So like, and there was I think 3 or 4 occasions in the first round. Like I hurt him and I could have just finished him. I was like, no, just box him. Like, and I don't know if you have got the footage or anything. I think I've got it somewhere. If you want it, I'll send it to you. But there's a few times I hurt him, And then like I see that he's hurt, and I just step off, do a little dance, just flick my jab out a bit, give him some life. Do you know what I mean? So he can move around again. And I just had to keep doing that because I was like, you're hitting this guy too hard, and he's not dealing with it. And then round 2, I think it was like 34 seconds into the second round, I just came out like bam, 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 finished him. Like I said, I was gonna, and yeah, that was decent. That was decent. But and then I think after that, I fought.
Michael Mooney, was it?
Michael Mooney. Oh my god, that's the hardest pro fight I've had so far. He was good.
If you look over his record, he's took quite a few O's, hasn't he? He's beaten 14-1, a 9-1, 9-0, and 4-0. There's plenty of it.
Right, that's the thing with my record. I think I've only fought 2 journeymen, and one of them I've only fought twice because the other one dropped out.
Yeah.
My original opponent, but I've only fought 2 journeymen out of my 6 fights. You know what I'm saying? So, when I look at my record, I'm like, yeah, that's a decent record. And considering 2 of those, the 2 that I ain't knocked out, both of them were the weight category above me or 2. So it's harder to stop them guy in 4 rounds. You know what I'm saying? 6 rounds is a bit different. I'd be questioning myself if I couldn't stop Michael Mooney or Ibra Rise in 6 rounds.
Yeah, of course. And now your next fight, you went with another journeyman, and I watched that fight. I was on the Tommy Langford undercard, wasn't it? A big night.
Was that Ignat Kasai?
Yeah, Kasai. Yeah, and Wolverhampton.
He had a half record though. It's like he had the same pretty much wins as he did losses. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
But he in his country is like in his weight division, he's ranked pretty decent. So I was like, see what this guy's got. But same again, it's like as soon as they feel the power, because they always come out game, and then when they feel how hard I hit, they kind of just change.
Yeah, he done well to get up from that first body shot, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Honestly, I thought he was gonna stay down. When I landed it and I saw him get up, I was like, wow, like that's mad hard, because I hit him hard. Like it was a perfect shot, right in the floating rib, bang. Like I felt his rib. And then for him to get back up, I was like, damn. And he was smart as well. He's got some of those old pro tricks. He spat his gum shield out.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So when he got up, he'd give himself a few more seconds. I was like, that's smart.
Yeah, I like that trick.
Yeah, man, it's a good trick.
You have to use it, of course.
Might have to use it one time, we'll see.
You never know. So moving on to your next fight, was your first home show in Leicester. That must have been nice for you.
You know what? That fell through. I didn't get that. I was so annoyed, honestly, because everything got set up nice. I had the undercard all good. I sold silly amount of tickets. Like the whole place was sold out. It was going so well. And then I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before, the undercard, most of them dropped out because due to whatever issues it was. I have no idea what it was, and there was no backup. So that if we got asked if we want to go ahead with the show. So I was like, okay, then we got to think about this, because if we do, there's only going to be 3 fights before my fight. Like the night will be done in like 2-3 hours. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
3 fights, and then I'm the main event. Just like that. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it properly. If we went ahead with it, we're going to be taking these good people's money to come watch 3 undercard fights, and then my fight, which probably would have only lasted like 10 seconds or something. So I just felt like I would have been robbing my own people. So I was like, no, we got to pull it. Spoke to Hudge and was like, yeah, we'll pull it. We can't fight on that show. Can't do that. Can't go ahead with that. So we got rid of that. But it would have been so good. Hopefully this year or starting next year, I'll get another home show where I'm the main event. I'll be nice, but see what.
Yeah, of course, mate.
You still there?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Cool. I just got a phone call. I just had to hang up. Sorry, mate.
That's no worries, mate. That happens all the time. So your next fight was Riaz, is it?
Ibra Riaz.
Yeah, he's a tough journeyman, isn't he? He can take a punch.
He really can. But like I said, I honestly believe if I had 6 rounds with him, that I'd be able to knock his head off. I really do. Because there's been a couple times where I've like landed on him, and like, because I've watched quite a few of his fights, and he doesn't really get rocked. He doesn't really get bothered. If you get everything, he mostly takes it on the gloves. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, and there's been so many occasions I've hurt it, and I thought, yo, I could advance on that if I had more rounds, but it's only 4 rounds. It still feels like the amateurs to me. Do you know what I'm saying? It really does. So like I'm just thinking, you're so lucky. If there's 2 more rounds, I'll be able to advance on that and make you pay for these little mistakes that you make. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think I could stop him if I had 6 rounds, 100%. I really do think I could, because there's only so many shots you can take, and like regardless if they're hitting your arms, gloves, whatever, that there's still power behind them, and you're gonna feel them. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think I could stop him if I had 6 rounds. That fight was pretty much straightforward. I just had to box him and then fight him a bit. But I mostly just boxed him, just made him look silly, because I knew it was only 4 rounds. I knew it was tough, and there's no point trying to knock his head off. It was going to waste energy and time.
Of course. And in the next fight, were you looking for that stoppage, even though it was still like 4 rounds?
Yeah, the second time I was like, let me try and stop him this time. I fought him once already proved to myself that I couldn't outbox him, make him look silly. And then the second time I was thinking, let me try and stop him. But I think what I should have done was boxed him, then fought him. And I think maybe then I would have got it. But what I did, I came out fighting, and then I boxed him after. And I think I got it mixed up there. I let my emotion take over. That's what it was.
Yeah, mate. Because you're obviously on the Liverpool card. That was a massive card. And is that where you feel at home in them big cards?
Yeah, man. I don't know if you can tell. Like, I'd soak it all up, man. I love it. I really do.
And what was the red and black sock?
I don't know. I just like being a little bit different. I've always been like that. Like, there's times if like I have a certain pair of jeans that I wear backwards. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I do. Like, I'm just a bit different like that. And then I've got like this chain that I made, and it's got like an old 2-pack tape on the end of it, and I wear that around my neck sometimes. Like, I'm just a bit weird.
Fair enough, mate. A trendsetter, shall we say?
I don't know, I guess so.
We'll see in the future.
People do it, to be fair. There was a couple of people when I started wearing my jeans backwards. I just woke up one day like, I'm just going to wear them backwards. I'm going to start doing it. Because I seen, do you remember Crisscross?
Yeah, I can remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing a video on them. Because, like, I don't know. I like to class myself as an old school guy. Like, I've got an old soul. I love all the old music. I don't really listen to much current songs. I like all the old stuff, especially when it comes to boxing. I don't really watch current boxing, which is, I don't know if it's bad or if that's good, but I really don't watch it. I have people coming up to me like, "Oh, did you watch blah blah blah?" I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Seriously, not out of disrespect. It's just I just don't.
No,
watch
of course, yeah.
Nowadays, if I do, it's only the old school fighters. I love the old fighters: Eubanks, Benz, Ray Robinson. Oh, I love Ray Robinson so much. I've got so much time for Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, Hagler, Hearns, all these guys. I love them. I can't get enough of them. I watch them until like my eyes pop out my head. Tyson, all of them. I can just watch them. But when I watch boxing nowadays, I don't get that same enjoyment. I just turn it off or walk away. I can't watch it.
Yeah, I do hear, obviously, a lot of my family members, they stopped watching it when it went to colour. I don't know what it was, but they said it all changed then. It's a weird one. Let's say, you obviously, it's been a few months since your fight. Last month, your last fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What, any plans going forward, Leon?
I really want to fight for a title this year at super featherweight. Seeing as this is the last year I'll be fighting at super feather, I want to fight for some title at super feather, whether it be the English, Midlands, British. I wouldn't mind it being the Midlands, but I would prefer it to be the British if I could, or the English, not British, the English or the British, just some sort of title in super featherweight, so then I can move up to lightweight with some gold around my waist.
Yeah, that's good to hear, mate. Obviously, the champion at the minute is the British champion is Lyon Walsh, and you sparred him a few times, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been sparring him. He's very, very what I would say that he's very, very smart, a lot more mature than me, and he knows his way around the ring a lot better than me. But as it comes to speed, power, technique, this, that, and the other, I would, honestly, you might think I'm mad, but I wouldn't place us too far apart. What he has got the hand up on me is his ring experience, his maturity, and his ring know-how. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when it comes to anything else, I wouldn't separate us too far apart. But that's what he would definitely beat me on, 100%. When we're sparring, that's when he gets the upper hand. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's all over me. It really isn't. Which you would think he's a British champion. It's not. It's not like that. It's quite competitive, to be fair. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Obviously, you've been down to the Kickstop a couple of times, didn't you? Come down to help Poxton as well, didn't you? Craig Poxton, sorry.
Yeah, that's one of the gyms that we go down to a lot. I've been sparring, like you said, Craig Proxton, Leon Walsh. I think I was gonna spar what's the other guy's name? Is it Ryan?
Ryan Walsh, yeah, the twin brother, yeah.
By him, but I think he was training for something, or he was doing something else, so I didn't get to sparring. But we go down there a lot for the sparring, to be fair.
It's a long way to come as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's great sparring, honestly. Like, we wouldn't keep going there if it was a load of rubbish. Do you know what I mean? Like Coach always says, we only go for the best. So whether it's in fights, whether it's in sparring, we only go for the best. Top quality opponents always.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
And also, you've been with Terry Flanagan as well, haven't you? Mitchell Smith.
Yeah, Mitchell Smith did 10 rounds with Mitchell Smith. I always get asked about that. What happened in that sparring?
I was about to ask you that. You've beat me to it.
But I'm not the type of person that likes to talk about sparring a lot, but it was very good sparring.
All
and
right.
I think he would have taken a lot away from it.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Very professional answer. Yeah, it's got a little block questions for you here, mate. Let's say, what's the first fight you can remember watching on TV?
What, the first ever fight?
Yeah, got you into boxing.
My first ever fight. It was a Sugar Ray Robinson fight. My granddad showing it me. I was around his house because he's from Secunderabad, which is now known as Bombay. That's where he was born. That's where he was from. And so when I'd go around his, he'd always like cook up some food and that. And so I'd go around there, he'd cook up some food, and I'd be sitting there, and he'd always be talking about how he used to fight, and he told me about his dad. They used to call him the Brown Bomber because I think he was a heavyweight, and he used to knock out everyone like one punch, like it was crazy. And he showed me some pictures, and then he'd put and I remember the first time he showed me like some boxing. This is the first I can remember actually seeing two people in the ring with gloves on, and I think it was Ray Robinson versus is his name Max Schmeling, I think.
Max Schmeling, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was that fight. I think that was the first fight I ever watched. And I just remember looking at Ray Robinson like, this guy's amazing. Like, he moves so nice and he hits so hard. And all I remember thinking is like, how can someone move so fluently but hit like a rhino? Like, it was crazy. I couldn't work it out in my head. Like, I was only young, so I was just thinking like, he's moving like he's floating on the ring, but he can still hit like he's bloody King Kong. And I was just thinking, like, that's mad, absolutely crazy. I kept asking my granddad like, how can you move so fast but hit so hard? And he was just like, years of practice, and he was telling me this, and he used to be a tap dancer, and he used to do this, that, and the other. And I was just like, yo, like, and I went into dancing after that as well, to be fair. I did dancing for so long before boxing.
I'm going to ask you that. I didn't know if that's something you'd like to talk about, but yeah, you went to dancing, was that?
Yeah, I did ballet for 2 years. That was quite decent. You had to be strong as hell for that. Trust me.
Obviously the footwork as well, obviously, yeah. Yeah, but moving on. Sorry, what's the best fight you've ever seen on TV or live?
The best fight I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I've got a few Ray Robinson fights in my head, but Hagler and Hearns just keeps pushing it out. I think the best fights I've ever seen, ever. Like, it was so exciting. Like, gave me goosebumps. Even if I put it on right now, talking to you, if I put it on my television, I'll get goosebumps watching it.
That's great to hear, mate. And say, on the world scene, and I know you're not a massive fan of boxing, is there one fight out there you'd like to see before end of 2016 and don't involve yourself?
I want to see what's his name? He's like one of my favourite current fighters. I always forget his name. It's so annoying. Keith Thurman.
Oh, one-time Thurman.
Yeah, I love him. I don't
he's
know,
a good boxer.
I really have a big liking towards him. He's like, because like he's that boxer puncher style, like I am boxer puncher. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I love that, being able to like, I love a fighter that's able to do like all of it. Do you know what I mean? I like that. I don't like those fighters that are really good at doing one thing. I find them quite boring because you pretty much know what's gonna happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what's gonna happen. Like,
a bit robotic, isn't it? Some people.
Yeah, like Mayweather's done amazing. Obviously, like, he's done great, but you know what he's gonna do. Do you know what I mean? I don't really like that. Like Thurman, he could come out boxing. Next round, he can come at you, rush you on the inside, and give you loads of body shots. Next round, he could be elusive. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like those kind of fighters. Like Roy Jones, he's the same. He didn't just stick to one thing. He could do it all. Do you know what I mean? I love Roy Jones. I think he's top quality, man. Proper good showman. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, because obviously Thurman's got a fight coming up with Porter in rearranged.
Yeah.
How do you see that going?
I'm always going to say Thurman.
Yeah.
I like Thurman. I think Thurman will knock him out.
Yeah, because you can obviously gauge Kell Brook's win over that end, can't we?
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll knock him out in I'd say about round 6. I think round 6 that's when he will finish him, because he'll be done setting his traps then, wearing him down, and he'll be ready to take him out then.
Yeah. Oh, you've got that. That's on record now. I'll pull that out of the archives when the fight's made. Just before you go there, mate, is anyone you'd like to thank before you go? Any sponsors or anything like that?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Thomas and Cassie's roofing company, and to Scott. He's the co-owner of the company. He's done endless amount of help, endless amount of work to get me to the position I am. Like, he's not just a sponsor. I've always said this. Like, he's always there. If anyone wants to talk to, he's there. If I've got any money issues, he'll be there, and he'll help me as best as he can. Do you know what I mean? He's a good man. He's not just a sponsor. He's a good man. So to be working alongside him and have someone like that behind you is a massive positive, especially in the world of boxing. Do you know
of course.
just want to say thank you to all the sparring that I'm getting right now. At the moment, I've been sparring with Troy James, which is quite funny, getting him ready for Lyon.
Yeah.
That's going really well. I just want to say thank you to them guys, because they're making their way down to us, and like, they don't have to do that. Do you know what I mean? They're the contenders, but they're coming down to us. So that says a lot for our gym and the position I am. And obviously, I must be giving them something. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, of course.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm really enjoying that at the moment, and just want to say thank you to my mum and coach. It's making me person I am today, man.
That's great to hear. I saw your gym promo video the other day. That was really impressive. I enjoyed that.
That was decent. It was odd to see a gym promo, and I wasn't in it that much. I was like,
no, I just saw you a little bit sparring, wasn't it? Your one.
Yeah, I'm in it like a couple of times, because normally when it's to do with the gym and anything to do public, I'm like, Hudge always gets me proper in it. But like, it was nice to see him merge everyone into it and not just focus on just one part of it. Do you know what I mean? He proper got everyone in there, so you've seen a bit of everyone. We've got one guy, his name's Radar. I call him the Beast from the East, because I think he's Kurdish, so I think he's from Iraq. Yeah. And I call him the Beast from the East. He's crazy, man. He's going to be one to look out for. I think he'll be turning pro sometime soon, in the next couple of years or something. But he's doing great at the moment. You've seen a bit of CJ in there. I think there's speaks of him turning pro soon. I think he might be the last Frank Warren signed fighter for a while, to be fair. But he's the one that I was sparring in the video. Yeah. He's slick, man. Proper slick star. I'm looking forward to watching him destroy some people in the pro ranks. I think he'll be fighting at middleweight, or it's either middleweight or super welter. I'm not sure. Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be decent. And seeing a bit of Paige as well, our little future Olympic champion.
Yeah.
It goes to plan. She's going to do wonders, man. She's going to do wonders. She's doing so well. Always training with her. I was training with him today. That's why I couldn't get on earlier with you. Me, Paige, and Udge was out in the fields, even though it was raining. But yeah, it was out in the fields training, man. It was nice.
Yeah, that's great to hear, mate. I was glad you said that. I was going to ask you, is any talent coming to that gym apart from yourself? But you cleared it up for us.
Yeah, definitely. That if there's anyone to watch out for in the immediate time, I'd say it'd be Paige Murney and Courtney Challenger, CJ. Those two are on something special, man, for real. And to be rated high in our gym is an absolute accolade, because Hudge is one of the hardest guys to impress. Honestly, there's been times I know in my mind I'm on point, I'm doing everything right, everything's good, and it still weren't good enough. Do you know what I mean? So to even be rated high in that gym is something that you should take pride in, 100%.
Yeah, of course, mate. One question I forgot to ask: did you set yourself any short-term, long-term goals when you turned over?
I just wanted to destroy everyone. That was it. That was my short goal. Make sure if I don't annihilate them in the ring, make sure they never forget my name and they always remember who Lyon Woodstock is. Like that was my short goal. Just get my name out there and let people know that I'm here to hurt people. I ain't here to box nice or look pretty or be fancy. I'm here to hurt people. Like, that's it. That's all I want to do when I get in that ring, is hurt people. Sounds psychotic, but it's that's my style. Is wild, man. Especially when I'm on my fighting mode. When I'm boxing, it's not too bad. Like, I've got my normal head up, but when I'm in like fighting mode, I'm not bothered. You can hit me with everything. I ain't bothered. As soon as I land, I know it's gonna be game over.
Would you say you got like the split personalities, have you?
100%, 100,000,000% split. Like, even outside the ring, I have, like, there's two sides to me. Like, I was talking to my second the other day, because he's been my second since the amateurs, and because he used to match me as well in the amateurs, and they used to say, "Oh, so what's he like? Like, what's he like in the ring?" And he was like, "It's entirely how Leon feels on that day. He could come out one day and he would just box you nice. He won't even get involved with you. He would just tap, move, hit you with a couple hard shots, just make you look silly. And then if the other one turns up, you got your hands full." The psycho. And I don't know where it comes from.
Psycho.
Like, it's just a personality thing. Like, there is literally two of me. In the Ibra fight, you only got to see one, and that was just me playing, moving. But there ain't been no one that's I'm lying. Michael Mooney, he's the only one that's got that madness out of me. I went crazy. Like, literally, I weren't bothered. He was hitting me flush on the chin, and I was just laughing at him and like told him come in, then I'd bang him. And it was mad. It was absolutely crazy. The fight weren't televised or anything, which is quite bad. That was one of the most entertaining fights I've had. I've got it on like a home camera. Mad fight. It's like,
you have to send it over.
Yeah,
I see that.
It's a good fight. Trust me. Like, even when I watch it now, it's like you don't know which way it's gonna go, because there's one time I catch him like proper good, and he's rocked, and like Michael Mooney don't really get stopped like ever, and his legs are gone, and he's in the corner literally waiting to just hold me, and I'm hitting him bam 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 bam, and I'm thinking the ref's gonna step in, and then he from out of nowhere he just raises his hands out, grabs me and squeezes me, and like he gets himself back, and then literally 2 seconds later he hits me with an overhand right, and now he's rocked me, and I'm like, what? And he's coming at me, but I've just gone tight, and then I've hit him, rocked him, chased him. I swear, it was crazy, absolutely crazy fight.
Because you obviously haven't been down.
The weight above me as well. Remember, I'm a super feather. The weight got called in at light welter.
Welter, Jesus. Because I know you've never been down as a pro, but do you ever go down as an amateur?
Go.
Sorry, been down on the canvas.
No, I've never been put down. The only time I got put down ever, I said this in my Box Nation interview with Bunsey.
Yeah, I saw that. You're still the first person I've seen on there with sunglasses.
I told you I'm a little bit different.
Not even Prince Patel done that.
Oh, did he?
I said not even Prince Patel's done that.
Yeah. But it was in Sparring. I had like a back injury, and it put me out for a month, and I had like 2 weeks training, and the whole gym was going out to spar, and I felt so left out, and I was like, let me come. And he was like, all right, if there's anyone down there to move around with, we will, but you only do a few rounds. I was like, cool. And like, I think I did 2 rounds, and the first round went fine. I was like, oh, I ain't really that unfit. And then I think it was like 30 seconds into the second round, like, you ever played like a fighting game and the energy bar goes to 0?
Stamina's gone, yeah.
Literally, that's what happened. I was fine, and then my stamina bar went to 0. And he threw a 1-2, so I was like, shit, I just need to cover up and just try and get some energy from someone. I've never felt so tired in my life. So I've just put my hands up to block the 1-2, and as my hands came up, I've had the almighty left hook to my body. Oh man, I was gone, absolutely gone. I curled up in a ball, and I was just like, just trying to get my breath back, like, yo. But I jumped. No sooner I went down, jumped up, and I was begging him to do another round, absolutely begging him. And I was like, please, one more round. My coach was like, no, just leave it. I was like, no, I need to do one more round with this guy. And and by the time I've got to him, bearing in mind I was only on the floor for 15 seconds, and I got up, and like, he's already changed. Like, he's got changed and everything. And I was like, what the hell? And he left, and I never seen him ever again. Like, never seen him on the amateur scene. Like, and I went all over fighting. Like, I went into the elites. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure I would have seen him there. I'd never seen him nowhere ever again.
He knew he was in for one, didn't he?
I felt like, yeah, I thought I was just getting too good. I was getting a bit cocky, and I think God just sent this random guy down. He was like, knock him down and then come back. Like, that was it. Just teach him a lesson, come back.
It might have been Hodge bringing a ring or something.
Trust me, I never seen him ever again. Just like disappeared from existence.
You mentioned it then, obviously, about computer games and that. Is how you relax away from the sport? I see you playing the UFC game lately.
Yeah. Right now, as we're speaking, I've just got the Street Fighter up, Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, you love the fighting ones, yeah.
Huh?
You love the fighting games, yeah.
I love fighting games. Can't get enough of them. Like, they're the only type of games that I can proper sit down and take time out for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I've got the UFC game myself. I'm quite impressed with it.
Do you want to start on it?
Oh, you're calling me out. He's calling me out. That is a fight you won't win, mate.
Are you serious?
We'll organise it.
On it yet against no one. Like, that's offered me out. I ain't lost against no one on it yet. I've like lost random online fights with random people, but offering people out, I've knocked everyone out so far. Nate Diaz all the way.
Nate Diaz, is it? Yeah.
They've put the Stockton slap in it now, you know.
Have they? Yeah.
Yeah, you can slap people with him.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's decent.
Yeah, we'll have to organise that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'll have to post that online. Me knocking out Lyon Woodstock Jr. Big talk. Like I say, mate, I appreciate giving up your time today, and it's been a joy speaking to you. And I'd like to get you back on the show in the future, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah, 100%, man. Thank you for having me, man. It's been wicked. Hopefully,
no, it's been brilliant, mate.
Soon, when I got a nice belt around my waist.
Exactly. I can't wait for them days, mate.
All right.
That's a pity you didn't make the 30th of April, innit? The Walsh on the card.
Yeah, that's what I was looking to get on. I really wanted to get on that because we've been speaking to Warren recently because apparently because of my last performance, he's gone really gassed. Like, he's really happy at the moment. Like, it's like I've opened his eyes to me, if that makes sense. Now he knows. Like, I'm on his radar, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I think we're going to be working a lot closer with him now from my last performance. So I think my next fight is going to be something big, to be fair. See what happens.
In the future, obviously, it's on Box Nation. I don't know who's on the undercard, but obviously Fury and Klitschko, isn't it?
Yeah. That card would be that'd be a good card to get on if I can get on that.
Massive exposure, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
That's something to work towards. And let's say, I wish you the best, mate, and we'll speak soon.
Wicked, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cheers, Leon. Catch you later, mate.